Hello and welcome. My name is Christina from Empowered Creator. I am a mindset and conscious manifesting teacher and coach, and this is my YouTube channel. Here I talk about all things law of assumption, mindset, conscious manifesting, the quantum universe, and a lot more. And my goal is to simplify everything without the fluff. So if you guys like this content and you would like to see more of it, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment, share, and just stick around. Also, if you need any help with your specific situation, I offer one-on-one coaching, email coaching, small group coaching, as well as custom subliminals for whatever needs you may have. So if you're interested in any of these services, the links are below in the description box. Click on it and they're going to take you to my website. With all that being said, let's dive into today's video. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how you can use instant revision as a great tool to manifest whatever it is that you're manifesting more easily and more effortlessly. So let's dive into that. So a quick refresher for those who might be new to the channel or who might be new to Neville's teachings and maybe not familiar with the concept of revision. What we mean by revision is where you take an event of the past that perhaps didn't go the way you wanted it to go for whatever reason, and then you reconstruct it in your imagination. And you can reconstruct it in imagination, with affirmations, with inner conversations, in scripting, you can write it down, in visualizing, you can reconstruct it in any number of ways. Just pick the way or the ways that work most naturally for you. But what you do essentially is that you recreate the event the way that you wish it would have gone. So let's say you heard some bad news or some news that you didn't prefer. Well, you can actually recreate the event in your imagination with the news that you actually preferred to have heard. You got an email where you were told something that you didn't like. You can reconstruct the email in your imagination where what it said was actually what you wanted to read. Okay, and so on. So there are many ways to use revision. Neville's favorite way was to tell people to actually go back in their day at the end of the day every night before bed and actually replay the day in their imagination and revise whatever things that happened that weren't to their preference or things that they would have preferred would have gone a little differently or a little better, a little more favorably towards them. That's one way. Another way is you go back in time, however long in the past. It doesn't really matter at all because time is an illusion anyway. We're going to talk about that separately some other time. But you can go back in time, take any event, any incident, and just recreate it in your imagination the way you would have preferred it to have unfolded. And another way, which is my personal favorite way to do revision, is to do instant revision. That means the moment something happens that you don't like, that you would have preferred it to have unfolded another way, a different way, a better way, a more favorable way, you revise it in your imagination, you reconstruct it in your imagination, you recreate it in the way that you would have preferred it to have gone. And the good thing about that, the good thing about using the revision technique in that way is that you basically don't miss anything. It does become a habit. It does give you the habit of basically going around and going about your day, stating your preferences. If something doesn't go your way, you just revise it on the spot in your imagination. Let's say someone told you something at work that you didn't like. You can just stop right there and take a few seconds or a couple minutes and just reimagine the scene and reimagine it a different way, a more favorable way, a way that's more aligned to what you would have wanted. Another good reason to use instant revision is that it's not as tiring and as tedious as actually doing it every night for the entire day, where you might actually forget things here and there, where you might be very tired, you might be a little bored, you might skip it altogether. Instead, when you just go about your day, you just go about your life, and when things happen that you're not crazy about, you would have preferred something different, you can do the revision right there in your mind and then kind of let it go, set it free. And the good thing about that is that you go about your day essentially recreating it into your ideal day. And you do that every single day. You recreate every single day into your ideal day. And that is a pretty cool technique, if you ask me. It's a pretty cool habit to acquire, in my opinion. So It's something that you may want to learn to do. You might have to remember it in the beginning. It may not come naturally in the beginning. You may have to remind yourself whenever something somewhat unfavorable or something that you didn't like, something that you didn't prefer happened, or you were told something you didn't like, you got some news you didn't like, a development you didn't like, whatever it was, just stop on the spot, take a few seconds or a couple of minutes, reimagine it or write it down a different way if you prefer writing it down, or perhaps visualize it a different way or do a short inner conversation. However you want to do it, just replay the scene in your head in the way that you wish it had unfolded instead. And that very easy, very simple technique is what is called instant revision. And it helps you recreate each and every day into a day that you like, into a day that you prefer, into a day that is aligned with your ideal preferences. And it puts you into the habit of actually continuously stating your preferences, continuously, consciously manifesting your days, your weeks, your months, your life. Now, will every single instant revision work and manifest? That is another question. That depends on a lot of factors. One of the factors is how advanced you are. Usually, the more advanced you are, the easier it is to see things manifest, and things like instant revision tend to happen very fast. Also, it depends on your beliefs. As we know, if you believe that it's going to work, it is going to work. So, as we know, assumptions are very important in that way. And it also depends on how much it has triggered you and how much you're still holding it within. So if it's something that has been a big trigger, you might need to revisit the revision over and over and over again over hours or even days or weeks in some cases, until you start feeling less and less triggered, until it doesn't trigger you anymore, until you don't see it in the same bad and favorable perspective that causes you these unfavorable feelings within. So you may need to revisit that part of the revision, that specific event, over and over and over again until you're no longer triggered. Because that is another secret, let's say, of revision. The whole point of revision is that you first are no longer triggered by the event that you didn't like, the event that caused the trigger in the first place. So if you're still being triggered, it means that you're still holding the old story dominantly within you. So you need to keep working on that revision until it no longer becomes a trigger. But regardless, doing that is an amazing tool to help you manifest more easily and more effortlessly, because you're essentially fixing, or I should say recreating, reshaping your reality as you go. And that is great because it takes care of all these little things that might become kind of thorns later on, and they can add up. So if you actually take care of them as they happen, you will soon realize that you feel much lighter, that you feel much more relieved, you feel much less triggered by events, you feel much more powerful and empowered, that you actually have control of your life. You can actually shape your life. You can actually choose what your reality is. And you get into that habit of basically commanding your reality to be how you want it to be. And that is going to help you to ultimately start manifesting more effortlessly, because you're gaining more practice, you're gaining more experience, you're gaining more confidence in your inner powers. And you just learn how to do it. You just learn to command your reality. And as you see it conforming, you start feeling more and more confident and more empowered, which is a huge component of successful manifesting and of fast manifesting. So I intend that this video has helped you. I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, I very much appreciate you guys being on this channel, watching this content. I love making this content for you. And as always, I look forward to seeing you all at the next video. Until then, take care and bye-bye.